Vice-Chancellor, Dr. Prince Nevutalu, members of the CPUT Council, members of the Executive Management of CPUT, deans of faculties, academic and administrative staff of CPUT, the Students' Representative Council, esteemed guests, ladies and gentlemen, families here and friends, and most importantly, the people who brought us here today, the graduates. Dumelang, Sanbonani, Huyemore, Eta Cape Town. Why is Cape Town so cold today? It's so hot outside. On behalf of the board and management of the wholesale and retail SETA, I would like to thank the Vice-Chancellor and his team for inviting me as a guest speaker at this historic graduation ceremony. I'm honored and thankful for the opportunity to be part of this auspicious occasion, which has been convened to celebrate the success of our graduates. Thank you, Dr. Nevutalu and your team. Ladies and gentlemen, please allow me at the onset to convey the best wishes and congratulations from the board, management, and staff of the SETA to all those who are graduating today, including the many thousands who have already graduated and those who will graduate in the coming 2 days. Indeed, the years of sacrifice, commitment, and hard work have finally paid off. And we can only say we are very proud of our achievements. However, as you graduate today, remember that our country awaits your contribution in building this economy. Remember that graduating from your various programs today is not the end, but the beginning of a life of possibilities and a journey of lifelong learning. We must also pay tribute to our parents, your parents, for the sacrifices they have made in your life. Now I can see most of you are beautifully dressed this morning. I don't know who your designers are, but I can tell you later who my designer is, because I made sure I also wear my best suit today. And your parents have really sacrificed to get you here today. We must also thank your families and friends and the different communities for the support and encouragement they provided to you through your learning process. They should be proud of having been part of contributing to your success. Ladies and gentlemen, as our country marks and celebrates 20 years of democracy this year, not only do we celebrate the achievement of all the 7,000 CPUT graduates, but we must equally celebrate the achievements of all the students who are graduating or have already graduated through the entire post-school education system. However, as we do this, we must be mindful and appreciative of the sacrifices our struggle heroes and heroines have made, and some of them might be in this hall today, during those dark days of apartheid. May I remind you that many people in our country died and suffered during the apartheid regime to ensure we achieve our democracy. So if anything that we cannot do is to fail them. Let us continue to build this country such that they will be proud of us. Let us ensure that 20 years from now, we can celebrate another important milestone. Yes, indeed, many of us can say South Africa is a better place than it was 20 years ago. As a nation, we can be proud of what we have achieved in a short period of time. But we must not forget that there are still many hurdles our country must still overcome. The many service delivery protests we are experiencing in our country today are a clear indication that our fellow countrymen and women are unhappy about the status quo. Most importantly, we must confront the scourge of poverty and unemployment in our country, which is facing us today after 20 years of democracy. When unemployment is running at around 25%, as we read from the newspapers and as confirmed by the statistics, all of us must be extremely concerned. Of utmost importance is that all of us, including those of you who are graduating here today, and I've seen here a long list of graduates in entrepreneurship, which is a great program. We must all work extremely hard to come up with innovative solutions to tackle this challenge. And the CPUT, together with many other institutions, must help our country come up with these innovative solutions. Vice Chancellor, I want to argue that no country in the world can effectively deal with this challenge unless it invests in the education and skills development of all its citizens. We all know that countries like Japan, Korea, and Singapore are today regarded as economic giants because they invested billions of their country's resources in skills development and education. So we can equally be proud that since 1994, our government and the private sector have prioritized and invested billions of rands in education, which is one of the key pillars and priorities of building our country into one, if not the, economic giants of Africa. I was quite disturbed during the week. I knew we were occupying number one, and we told that now Nigeria has overtaken us, so we have a challenge. Through education, we must and can transform the country, ensure that economic growth helps us to create more jobs and helps us to create more self-sustaining businesses. Let us remember the words of our late first democratic president of the Republic of South Africa, our late Dr. Nelson Rolihlahla Mandela, when he said, "Education is the greatest engine of personal development. It is through education that the daughter of a peasant can become a doctor, that a son of a mine worker can become the head of the mine, and that a child of a farm worker can become the president of a country," close quote. One of the highlights during these 20 years of freedom was the establishment of the sector education and training authorities, which has already been alluded to. The wholesale and retail sector is one of those sectors that have been established and has been running for the last 13 years. And during this period, several of the companies that contribute levies to us have trained close to 300,000 employees per year. Over and above that, the sector runs its own discretionary programs, which has seen thousands of young people benefit from learnerships, skills programs, bursaries, and many other programs. To this end, one of the key projects of collaboration is the Workplace Experience and Employment Program. The objective of this program is to place TVET and higher education and training graduates within our companies to obtain workplace experience for a period of at least 12 months. During this period, the graduates are exposed to various business operations within the wholesale and retail businesses. To date, the SETA has enrolled 1,061 graduates through the program as part of the scheme. In 2014-15, we intend to place 500 graduates in companies for workplace experience, as well as 1,000 unemployed TVET college graduates. We are also very proud as a SETA to have a strong partner in the CPUT. This is an institution that has helped us to pioneer and establish the first ever retail chair of the wholesale and retail sector. And it's the first of its kind in the African continent. The aim of the retail chair is to professionalize the wholesale and retail sector through the development of qualifications at higher NQF levels, ensuring that institutions of higher learning produce students with requisite skills that address the needs of the sector through partnership with our stakeholder companies. All these efforts are indeed aimed at positioning the wholesale and retail sector as a career of choice. So I would like to take this opportunity to encourage all graduates, and not only those who have studied retail management, to consider wholesale and retail sector as a career of choice which will help them advance their careers. This sector has evolved in the recent past, and the wholesale and retail is no longer regarded as a fallback career or as a career for cashiers, but as a viable career with endless opportunities. The SETA is also providing bursaries from NQF level 5 right up to MBA and PhD levels. In this sector, we attract accountants, legal professionals, real estate, advertising and marketing people, as well as those who have studied retail management programs. As I currently speak to you today, our SETA is sponsoring close to 270 students at this very important institution. And we have invested an amount of close to 19 million for this program. There are several programs that I could talk about, which the SETA has implemented. The SETA has also invested an amount of 109 million towards the bursary scheme to benefit, that is over and above the CPUT students, about 1,600 students to pursue studies in wholesale and retail related qualifications. So I hope that brief outline helps you understand that as a SETA we are serious about the business of skills development and education. Now, I think if I were just to address myself to the graduates, I think what is going through your mind, not that I've read your mind, but I've been there before, like you, the key question which I think you are asking yourself, and you will probably ask yourself tomorrow after the great parties and celebrations you are hopefully going to have. The question is, what is in store for me, and how can I ensure that 20 years from now, our country will be a different country than it is today? One thing I can say, though, is that our country expects a lot from those of us who have benefited from this democracy, and that includes you. The country expects a lot from you because through the blood, sweat and tears of our heroes and heroines, we've been able to get this far. In the words of John Dewey, indeed, and I quote, "Education is not a preparation for life, it is life itself." So a whole world awaits all of you out there. Embrace it. Most of you will be going into the real world of work, or hopefully many of you will attempt to start your own businesses, or you will support those businesses, especially in our townships, that needs to be supported in order that we can grow our economy. Whatever you intend to do, remember to maintain and sustain the same attitude, hard work, resilience, which has made you graduate today. I'm sure if you ask all the people in this hall what has been contributing to their success in life, I'm convinced that they will all agree with me that hard work, passion, commitment, and dedication is what made a difference in their lives and working careers. So, our graduates, as you step out into the real world, be prepared to also answer what I believe many employers or many investors who will be prepared to invest in your initiative will ask this particular question: why should we employ you? If you want to start a business, an investor will ask the same question, and they will put it probably differently. What is your value proposition? So I know that today there's a lot of excitement in the hall, and I'm standing between you receiving your certificates and your diplomas. But let me also, towards my conclusion, say that in case you don't know what a value proposition is, and I'm going to assume that you've been taught about a value proposition. A value proposition speaks directly to your target audience, and it tells them exactly what they should, why they should purchase your products if you are in business and services, and in case you want to be employed, why should they employ you. In case of non-profit organization, a value proposition asks the question, why should your donors support your organization, and why should members join your programs? If anything that I would like you to remember from what I've said is a value proposition is a clear statement of the concrete results an employer or an investor will get from employing you, or a customer will get from purchasing and using your products and services. A value proposition is a short statement that tells your prospective employer and investor or your customer why they should hire you or buy from your company, and it is focused on outcomes. We encourage you, as I conclude, that your learning should not just stop here. You should continue learning. And I was inspired last night when I attended the graduation at Belleville and saw some of people as old as I am receiving their qualifications. And I thought I need to talk to my wife and say, wife, me and your boy are going back to university, because next year I would like to sit here, and maybe I'll come to CPUT. I urge you once again to consider embarking your careers within the wholesale and retail sector. Let me conclude with the inspirational words of the late Dr. Nelson Mandela when he said, and I quote, "I have walked the long road to freedom. I have tried not to falter. I have made missteps along the way, but I have discovered the secret that after climbing a great hill, one only finds that there are many more hills to climb. I've taken a moment here to rest, to steal a view of that glorious vista that surrounds me, to look back on the distance I have come. But I can only rest for a moment, for with freedom come responsibilities, and I dare not linger, for my long walk is not ended." And I close quote. Enjoy and celebrate today, fellow graduates, but remember that a great journey awaits you. We have confidence in you that you will take the baton from the past and present heroes and heroines of our struggle and continue the race. The struggle today, I will say, and many may not agree with me, is no longer against apartheid. But we need to continue to build our country and reduce unemployment and poverty in our country. With education and skills development, we can surely build a better South Africa. Congratulations and best wishes.